Good morning. My name is Devin Silino, coordinator of USART, Business Incubator of the Research and GEW. On behalf of the UTT and the USART team, we'd like to welcome you and thank you for attending this event. I don't know how much of you know about USART, but we have some entrepreneurs here. USART was developed in 2014, was launched in 2014. When we assist students, staff, and alumni to start their businesses. We are both an incubator and an accelerator, meaning that there are those who come in with just an idea, and we assist them to get from the proof of concept stage to actual product development. And there are those who come in with their business, and we help them to get to the next level. That's the acceleration aspect of it. At this point, there are several fields, sectors, where we have entrepreneurs. We have fashion, both management and design. We have agro-processing, engineering, education, animation, ICT, game development. Yeah? And we are always open to assist students, staff, and alumni. And I was speaking with one of the attendees this morning who's interested in joining the program. If some of you are not the students, staff, or alumni, and your business partner or someone from your company would have attended UTT, then you can feel free to call us. Feel free to call us, and we sit with you, talk with you, listen to your business idea, and we will take it from there. Yeah? Now, today we are celebrating our Global Entrepreneurship Week. Whilst we know it's usually in November, you are free, institutions are free to celebrate that event even after the actual GEW week. And we proposed to highlight our female entrepreneurs, three of our female entrepreneurs, and you will hear from them today. Good morning. Our featured speakers are Nikita Vidal from Tropical Hives, Jamelia Alexander, company originally Vice Versa Fashion Company Limited, and Ali Nisas from Nisas Geriatric Training and Care Limited. Our first speaker for today is Jamelia Alexander. Let me give you a brief about her. Jamelia Alexander joined us in 2016, and she has been making leaps and bounds. She started off in fashion management and she actually delved into many different projects. Today she will enlighten you about one of the projects that she's dealing with right now. Vice Versa is a fashion consulting company that assists local fashion designers to develop products for export. Designers receive assistance with sourcing manufacturers, marketing locally, and international trade shows, as well as brand development. I turn it over to Jamelia Alexander.
Before I go into the presentation, I'm Jamelia Alexander, as David said. I founded Vice Versa Fashion Company, and I'm seeing some familiar faces, people that I would have worked with, students from camps and so on would have done. And my talk today is about entrepreneurship being the equivalent of innovation, and them being the same thing. And in order to move forward as an entrepreneur, you need to continuously innovate. And let me just get the presentation set up. So how many entrepreneurs we have? People who support entrepreneurs, but how many entrepreneurs we have today apart from the speakers? We have two. Great. So it's a nice small group, and we will share information today from three speakers, three female entrepreneurs. But I would like to speak to the fact that for us to move forward as female entrepreneurs, we must first see ourselves as entrepreneurs and and we must move beyond whatever obstacles may be placed in our way by society or by our own preconceived notions. We are entrepreneurs first, we are humans first, we are entrepreneurs, and we have to bring whatever our gender offers to the entrepreneurial journey to move us forward. So today I'm going to speak about the fact that entrepreneurship is equal to innovation. And these are two buzzwords, entrepreneurship and innovation, and everybody uses it. And I know that only people who support entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs really understand what entrepreneurship really means at its core, all the negatives and positives that go along with that. And again, innovation is a buzzword, so most people use it as a synonym for creativity. And they use it, to kind of push an idea forward of us moving forward as a society or a new idea. But I really want to speak about the importance of understanding that these two words are similar. And there are similarities that you as an entrepreneur or the supporter of an entrepreneur can take forward as you go along the journey of entrepreneurship. So I stumbled on this quote on what entrepreneurship really means a few years ago, and I put it as my signature on my email. And it was really important to me to see this quote because there's so many quotes on entrepreneurship, and I just stumbled across this one. And there's so many buzzwords and buzz catchphrases, and so many times we take that leap as entrepreneurs into a new project or into a new idea, and we don't really understand and take the time to understand what that means. And so many times along my personal entrepreneurial journey, I had to stop and think, what am I doing as an entrepreneur? What am I really supposed to be doing? And this is one of the first, if not the first, definitions of what entrepreneurship means. And essentially, what an entrepreneur does is they shift economic resources out of a place of lower to an area of higher productivity and yield. And once we understand that as entrepreneurs, everything that we do, every idea that we have, every opportunity we have, we need to say to ourselves, is this idea, opportunity, going to allow me to shift economic resources from a place of higher yield, a place of lower yield, to a place of higher yield and productivity? And this is all we're supposed to do as entrepreneurs. Every day, day in, day out, every minute, every dollar, every thought, every idea, every conversation must move us from a place of lower yield to higher yield and productivity. And I heard a speaker say that entrepreneurs really work with 4 words. These are the 4 words that really describe an entrepreneur. Somebody who's frugal, somebody who's focused, somebody who's slightly obsessed, and somebody who's consumed with love. And really, those are the only things that will take you forward as an entrepreneur. Frugality, understanding that every cent must shift to a high yield and productivity. That focus on what you are supposed to achieve, even with the obstacles along the way. That obsession with an idea for a better world, and that love for yourself, that love for your consumer, your customer, that love for your company, for your associates, for your country, whatever you tether that love to, that is the focus as an entrepreneur. So let's talk about economic resources. A lot of us know what economic resources are. But it was interesting to me, when I studied business in school, fashion school as a student in high school, we spoke about land, labor, and capital, and eventually technology. What I noticed when we define economic resources now, we define the entrepreneur as an actual economic resource. And along my entrepreneurial journey, I realized that the only resource I really have any control over is myself. And that's the resource I needed to invest in more so. And these are conversations that I would have had even with Indian women about really thinking about myself as the core of everything that I do, and then extending that out to all the other resources. So traditionally, land would have been necessary to create, an enterprise, or as an economic resource that would be necessary. We realize that's not as necessary now. Labor may have been necessary. We realize we can outsource labor. We can't outsource ourselves. So we always have to focus on ourselves. And then technology. And using technology not just to move our systems forward, but also our processes forward. How are we using technology on a daily basis? Not just to entertain ourselves, but to shift our resources from a place of lower to higher yield and productivity. Who's this high yield for? For you, the entrepreneur, for your company, clients, and associates. And everything that we do as entrepreneurs, we always need to think about ourselves, our company, our clients, and our associates, and how what we do reflects on it. And let's speak about innovation, the next buzzword. There's so many catchphrases and so many quotes about innovation. You could go on reading books and read them all. And they're all very stimulating. But beyond that, innovation is not creativity. Innovation is taking things that already exist and putting them together in a movement to solve a problem that is existing right now. A problem that you may identify. I strove through two things because you could add 3 or 4 things together to really get you that result. But in essence, this is what innovation is. In order to innovate, we need to break with tradition and shift the emphasis. So you notice entrepreneurship is this shift of resources, and innovation is the shift of emphasis. These are some synonyms for innovation: change, upheaval, rearrangement, remodeling, unconventionality, modernization. Dare I say that as entrepreneurs, we need to be very responsible as we innovate. Because using any of these words without the level of responsibility that's necessary could cause pandemonium. So as we change and as we uproot what is unnecessary, we need to shift our focus into what is necessary and into what we want to see in the world. So why does entrepreneurship equal innovation? Because in order to shift resources from a place of lower to high yield and productivity, we must break with tradition, and we must, more than anything else, shift our emphasis from what is to what we want it to be. And even if you haven't taken the time to do deep thoughts about this, as an entrepreneur, that's what we're doing. We identify a gap or problem, we shift from that gap to the solution. And it's that continuous shift as more problems arise or more as technology advances or as your consumer need changes, you need to shift your emphasis, but still stay focused. A shift in emphasis really equals a shift in resources. As an entrepreneur, you never have enough resources. You never have everything that you need. So it is always important to stay focused and to shift your focus to what is important, what you want to achieve, what you want to see in the world, the change you want to see. Albert Einstein said that we can't solve problems with the same mindset that we created problems with. And that's just paraphrasing it. If we have the same mindset, we cannot solve the problem. It really takes a shift in your emphasis. And when I thought about what innovation really and what entrepreneurship really meant to me at those times when I couldn't connect exactly where I was to where I wanted to be, I realized I really had to take a deep look at what this meant. And essentially, this is what I came up with. Innovation occurs when a visionary identifies a problem that needs to be solved. When a problem solver glimpses into a future with all the limitations they identify. And these limitations that you identify, most times you identify those limitations in your consumer, in your client, in your environment. But you need to take a look at the future, understanding that this is what is, but seeing the future with all those limitations. It is listening with the ethereal air for solutions that stack the odds in the favor of mankind. When I think about my client or my consumer or members of my camp or participants in the camps that I do, I always think about what can I do to stack the odds in their favor? What can I do to empower them? What can I do to add value to them? What can I do to add value to myself and to stack the odds in my favor? They say that luck really occurs when you put yourself in that position to be lucky. It doesn't occur just out of the blue. You have to shift your focus and be ready for it. Be ready for luck. Create good luck every day. And when you speak about listening with the ethereal air, it's really thinking, listening to what is being said, to what is actually happening. So you may have a problem, but between the lines of that problem is the real solution. So it's listening out for that solution in the midst of all the noise. It's the ethereal eye that envisions a future that is better. What innovators do is we busy ourselves with the tasks that move mankind forward. That's all we have to do. Whatever corner of the world you're in, you have to get busy with those things that will move people forward, that will change the paradigm, that will change the outlook of the future. That's what we do. So when you look out there and you see all the big companies, the Airbnbs and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Amazons and so on, they didn't start off with a delusion of grandeur. They started off understanding that this was one problem that I needed to solve. This is one future that I need to see, that I need to realize. And this is what we should be doing every day as entrepreneurs. So how are we going to achieve this? This is just something that I came up with, that I use on a daily basis. Read between the lines, as I said. In the midst of every problem are the seeds to the solution. Trust your convictions, and this is something I had to do and develop on my entrepreneurial journey. Sometimes there's something that you see that you want to create, and you assume that it's not relevant. You assume that it's not useful. Test that theory, but trust your convictions. Set your intention. This is something that you have to do every day. It's not just about I'm going to do this or that. It's I am going to achieve this or that. I'm going to be this or that. And take action. Understanding that mistakes are a part of the process. And it's a part of your path to progress. And then repeat this every day. Because as you shift your emphasis, your resources will shift to a place of lower productivity and even to a place of higher productivity. So this is the challenge to each and every one of us as we leave today. Whether you support entrepreneurs or you are an entrepreneur yourself, let us commit to continuous innovation. Let us commit to taking problems and putting them together to make solutions. Let us commit to listening and looking, trusting our convictions and taking action. I'm repeating that every single day and continuously innovating. I'd like to say thanks to the UTT Business Accelerator, GEW, Trinidad and Tobago, and University of Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Julie Alexander. Thank you very much.
Anyone has questions? Ms. Alexander?
You may mention, excuse me, you may mention that you will tell us about something that you do.
Oh, okay. So essentially, the presentation was what it was, but what I decided to do is to digitize the value chain process. For years, I tried to move with designers and consult with them, which became difficult and almost impossible because of the level of resources that were available and the gaps in the global value chain. So essentially, what I did was digitize the process so that brands would be able to access it 24/7. So brands would be able to move from idea to product to market in 4 steps. And it's a process that I marked out myself, and it's now available online. I built the platform.
Thank you again, Gina. Presentation was indeed insightful. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes do that which you can't, which you think you cannot do. And I mean, sometimes, every one of us in the room, sometimes we have ideas and we are afraid. We find a million and one reasons why we cannot do it. And sometimes it comes from fear, sometimes it's to talk to someone and they said, oh, I don't want to do that, that's not really a good idea. Or you said, or you would say, oh, you have so many other commitments, you have no commitments, family commitments. But sometimes you have this passion in you and you must really try and pursue it. There comes a time where you have to do that. Alright? And I'm sure Jamila and Nikita, Ali, can attest to that. Yeah? Our next presenter, Ms. Ali Nexus, founder of Nexus Geriatric Training and Care Agency. Nexus is focused on changing the culture of elder perception for the benefit of all. The services NICES offers include training in geriatric care, serving as an employment agency for geriatric caregivers, providing quality home care services by certified caregivers for the elderly. I turn you over to Ms. NICES.
Good morning. So I, Ali Nexus is me. I do not have a presentation. I really wanted to come and speak, off my mind. But I do have some tidbits that I did write down. I do get a little nervous, so my mind shaking is natural. I'm not going into a seizure. Right? So the name of my little talk is an acronym actually. Because when I was asked to speak, I started thinking, okay, what do I speak about? Because my company is new, 3 years, I'm still struggling. It's like it's like a baby that always wants something every single time. And every time you have to figure out, okay, do I feed the baby or do I feed myself? It's a real tough thing, especially, and I'm not going to try no racial divide, but as a black female, that's the first thing they cut you down with. So I thought about the acronym WOMAN because I have a knack for acronyms. And the first thing that jumped out when opportunity meets existing need. I am here for motivation. I can't tell you how a company runs and the secrets to companies as yet. I'm still in it, but I can help motivate you to continue. So I started, I'm a registered nurse. I have been a registered nurse for the last 11 years. I spent 9 years in San Fernando General Hospital. And it is from there I realized that being an employee is not for me, right? I spent 7 years on Ward 12, seeing medical cases. And what sparked my interest in the elderly is the final drop when an elderly patient came with wounds in his mouth and moss on his penis. I'm going to be real with you, I'm very sorry. But this is the reality we face. And I came to it late, normal thing. And I reached late, I leave later, but I reached late. And they said, I just go and bathe that patient. And I picked out 32 wounds the very first day out of his mouth. He could not close his mouth, tears streaming from his eyes, because he knew what was going on with him. His nephew was too bothered to take care of him, so he brought him into the hospital. When he came, the feces was stuck onto his skin, so we had to wet it first and then take our times and clean it. Elderly abuse is real. But understand this, we are all going to get old. It's either you die young or you grow old. So the main objective is to change the culture. I'm going to get old. I don't want nobody beating me up or leaving me in my feces. I didn't get a degree and spend much years studying to deteriorate to that. We have people who have traveled the world and built monuments and they are reduced to that. So this is what I started the company with a plan, with an idea, with a dream, naivety. And I fell in love with the idea. And I bundled up my savings and went into the loan and things and crashed and did within 2 months. Lost about $40,000, right? But every single step of the way, I had to keep on looking on how to redeem myself. I tried to get my mom involved, she ran out on me, family members turned their back on me. I had to keep redeeming myself and trying to continue. And this is where the acronym came in. When opportunity meets existing need. That is what women are about. We will see something on sale, I might need it for later on. But it's how women are. We always looking for an opportunity. And it's not just about the sale. We are the ones who notice certain things going wrong. And we look for that opportunity to fix it. And although the need may not exist at the moment, we always find that need in our head because your focus is your reality. So whatever you focus on, that will be your reality. So I kept focusing on this company has to succeed, this company has to succeed, this company has to. Because the whole back pay going in it, all my dreams, all my hopes, the whole vision. And it had at one point, I was so depressed. I thought I was slipping on the other side. And then I saw opportunities coming. And what I realized is that with business, with the wealthy mindset, you need to project those opportunities for them to come to you. You need to manifest those opportunities for them to come to you. Right? You'll have the naysayers. They have one, oh, you leave a permanent work, girl. You leave a permanent work. They don't say permanent, they say permanent. You know? Because they are projecting their fears on you. They don't understand. If you give someone an option, suffer for 4 years, and then live 30 years, free and comfortable, at first they'll say, yeah, I will take that. But every one of those 4 years have months, weeks, days, minutes, seconds, hours that you have to live. And they don't take into consideration that. And this is what entrepreneurship is. It is sacrifice with a purpose. And are you ready to sacrifice? Now, the first thing I had to do was learn not to fall in love with mine. I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to listen to reason. It sounds good in my head. It looks good. I know what I want. It is not what you want, but what need you can fulfill. Entrepreneurship is about fulfilling a need, satisfying a need. And then not only satisfying that need, but being able to adapt when society changes. So, let me go to my class again. Now, women, we can innovate and mentor, but I'm looking at the theme of the whole event. Innovation is very important to entrepreneurship. You need to evolve. You need to adapt. You need to anticipate. Do not let bridges falling down. You really need to anticipate that one day you wake up and you provide styrofoam and you ban styrofoam. You need to anticipate that. You need to recognize things in society, opportunities that you could jump on. There was a program at Current, and I saw the Youth Start band, and I saw the table, and I was like, what is this? And I went over and spoke to this young fellow in the back there. And look where I'm presenting this person who actually wants to hear me and my little sad story. My survival story, because every day we still struggle to survive. Right? You have to anticipate. Anticipate where you can grow. There's always an opportunity to grow personally. It always starts with personal growth. If you are struggling with demons inside of you, and it's called demon stress, so don't get too worried about that. It's not, exorcism or anything. But when you are struggling with your own stress, you cannot go out and convince somebody why they must pay attention to you and your idea that probably other people probably have. What makes you so special? When you are able to deal with your own personal issues, you go out there with confidence. Self-esteem is from self. I cannot give you any kind of esteem that will keep you going, that will keep your flame going, because it is a candle. Entrepreneurship is a candle and it must burn all the time. Even when you're resting, you're dreaming about how to improve, how to get the bottom line looking better. Right? So you must be able to deal with self first and then go out there and give self, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And control. And the first thing you need to understand is, where control is concerned, you cannot control anything but yourself. I could try as much as I can to control others. Working on the ward, I had a hard time getting nurses to listen to me. I was at a position where I was an acting head nurse. So it was hard to get some nurses to listen. So I showed them what to do. I'm a mother of 3 teenagers, and I am very proud. I hear people talk about teenagers, this and teenagers. I love my teenagers are cool. I say do this and they do it, and then they ask, Mommy, do you need more help? But it didn't come like that. I built with them as they were growing up. They used to come, Mommy, 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 and you had to sit down and listen to them, and you had to drop everything and listen to them. And if you couldn't drop everything at that moment, you say, all right, baby, let me come back. I will come back to you. And you better come back. And you sit down and listen. So now when my son has issues with his girlfriend, he will come and tell me. My son, 18 years, still asks, Mommy, can you help me with so on and so on? or he has some difficult issues, he will talk to me. This is how you control. You control self first, and then you project it on others. Right? So, you were born for this, woman. When opportunities meet existing needs. And I'm not going to talk for long. I'm almost ready to wrap up. But entrepreneurship has been quite an adventure for me. Everybody uses the term now. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. It's a cool term now, you know. But when you look at things that really make you an entrepreneur, many do not want to make the sacrifice. They don't. They don't want to look inside of them and ask the hard questions. What is my fault? How do I fix my faults? How did I make this go wrong? Because as an entrepreneur, all the blame is on you. All the blame. You can't say, well, that fool, you can't do it. I mean, no, you are. The system didn't work, the process didn't work, the business model wasn't tight enough, you was too hopeful, you lied on your business plan, you didn't think about this, somebody else got an opportunity, you start to blame yourself. You are the one in control. So unless you could balance off your own personal life, it would not be seen in the business. When opportunity meets existing need, women were born for this. Because I would hear, oh, you're a woman. Don't let people know that you're in control of the company. I don't think it's a man. Worse yet, a black woman. No. I was born for this. We were born for this. Right? And I encourage you to go out, look for the opportunities, grab at them as entrepreneurs. I am still learning, I'm still growing, and I have no regrets. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Anyone has questions? Hi everyone, morning. My name is Shirley Brothers. I'm basically in the upstarting. My business is about a year, going on almost a year right now. I heard you mention that in the early phase you took loans and whatever. And I am basically in the same kind of, not really a loan, but you know, I take money from parents and I think I say yes, I'm gonna buy materials, I'm gonna do this, and then like, okay, I'm not really seeing the movement I want to see as yet. And I'm feeling bad because I want to pay back this $1,000 now, I don't want next year come and this $1,000 still over my head. And then I'm hearing you say like $40,000, I'm like, whoa. So it's like, you know, you're thinking as an entrepreneur, you start and you want to see progress within 3 years, you want to see progress within 4 years, but not knowing that you still have a lot to learn and a lot to pay back before you could actually make profits that you want to see. So I just want to find out like how you dealt with that, seeing that you have a family as well.
I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself. I did something that you are not supposed to do. You are not supposed to go into personal debt to open a business. Not like that. Not like that. And I had to forgive myself to continue going on because the pressure of depression, the pressure of self-pity is going to stop you from your focus. You're not going to see those opportunities. You're going to be pumping yourself all the time. And your focus is your reality. So if you are focusing on depression and doubt and self-pity, you're not going to grow. You're not going to see those opportunities for your company. So understand, that was the decision I made with the judgment I had at that time. I know better now. I cannot blame myself for what I know now. That is like being upset with 10-year-old me that cannot do a sexy subject that cannot do a maths, algebra sum or something like that. That happened. If you had known better, you would have done better. But now you learn from that mistake. There are no mistakes, there are only lessons. And you learn from it. I'm not going to rush and get a loan to go into business again. I'm not going to do that. I learned from it. But when you deal with your personal demons, you are able to grow. And when you have no expectations, you are not disappointed. So expecting and falling in love with your business and expecting it to grow at a certain time, that is for your financial statement. Put that on your sheet. Put that on your account, your balance, the cash flow and all of that, put that down. But in your mind, you know that you have to look at your company every single day. Look out for those opportunities and grab those opportunities as you get them. You can get a call today. There's no such thing as luck. It's when preparation meets opportunity. The opportunities will come. Once you are determined to win, the opportunities will always come. Are you prepared?
One more thing, this is great. I branch out. On the intentional and passion presentation, you referenced something in which you said that in your head, you think this is correct, this is right, and then with guidance, etc., you realize, I'm guessing the other thing is that you is correct. And this is obviously based on some personal experiences, which I think is critical and pivotal to anyone's entrepreneurial journey. I think you should maybe like reference or share some of these that were learning experiences or learning guidance towards getting you to the better place.
Right. Great. So when I started, I rented out this big building, $6,000 a month, and I put up the signs, and I was all excited. My course was 4 months law, and of course I designed the course myself, geriatric caregiver course, and hot and sweaty and also excited. 4 students came. 3 took back their money, only 1 stayed with me. In this big classroom, $6,000 a month. 1 student, me and that student, she was so nice. She's such a sweet bread. Finished off I took $1,400 off a seminar. You can't pay for the rest of this course. No, why am I finished? You can't, because I wasn't giving you enough. And then I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I started calling people, fake calling as a customer, my competitors. And one said, well, yes, you can come and do the course. We are CBQ certified. I said, CBQ? She said, yes, take it. Really? So I called National Training Agency and they set me up for the CBQ certification. I'm still in process of doing it. It's the best thing ever because CBQ is one of the things that you hear when you're in secondary school. So as a skill, home ec, or you're doing a trade or anything, CBQ is the first certification that you think of. So when person started calling to do the course, they're like, what about CBQ? And I said, oh, I offer that. You know, so that is one way I improved. Another way is that I was in my MT office and someone came in. She actually tracked me down because the local government had some consultations and I went up to the mic and speak. And I suggested that government allowed everyone to do CPR. So you teach people how to do, each family, how to do CPR. And that's one of my goals because one of my best friends died last year from a massive heart attack. Ironically, she was a nurse. And nobody could have helped her. Nobody. She was pronounced dead. So one of my goals is that every family needs to know how to do CPR. So if I'm standing in line, God forbid, and I drop down, the person next to me knows how to do CPR, the chances of that is increased, right? So she came, and she is a PhD student, she is pursuing a PhD, and she wanted to find out why I spoke on such matters. And then she looked around at the empty office, and she was like, what are you doing here? And I told her, and she said, so why you don't rent one of the classrooms in a school? I said, what? That's a great idea. And then come, it crashed and it burned and so on. And next year, that was in 2017, I started reaching out to schools and Pleasantville Secondary School, because I'm from San Fernando. Pleasantville Secondary School rented me classes at $300 a class. And you could see about 20 to 30 odd persons in the classroom. So that was where I saw another opportunity. Because I manifested, I want to succeed, she reached out to me and then she gave me the tools that I needed to succeed. And then there's another thing too. If you keep on getting opportunities and ignoring them, they will stop coming. You have to act on them. You have to be mature enough to see, because another opportunity too. I was talking to another business owner. I still have to correct this. He was speaking on my logo. He said, logo looking like a hanging angel. It's looking like it's killing itself. And not everybody, religious, have a halo on its head. My logo has a little head with a halo and legs kind of hanging. He said, no, change it. Change it. And I was very insulted, because how dare you? I came up with this logo. My daughter drew it because she's a little graphic artist. She's 17, and she designed it. How dare you? And then I looked at, he has been in business with for more than 20 years. He's successful, he's growing. And it is an opinion of my customer, because he has an elderly person, so elderly relative, so maybe one day he will reach out for my services. And I had to go back to the drawing board and redesign so that I can improve. So sometimes you need to quiet your personal issues in order to get those opportunities. Yes.
Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is Ms. Nikita Picard, founder of Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a commercial manufacturer and distributor of honey, high products, and apiary services. All honey is carefully sourced from local beekeepers, with whom the company has partnered to share its commitment to the highest standards of honey production in the most natural form. Nikita.
Hi everybody, thanks for having me. So the topic I'm presenting is writing your story, aligning your business for purpose and profit, right? So basically, one of the reasons I wanted to present you all today is because I just really love doing presentations. No, I'm kidding, right? I see a lot of times people start businesses, and then the reason why they start and the things that they do is aligned with what they really wanted to do in the first place. So sometimes people start things and your business is supposed to really serve you. So people may tell you, I need to have this huge business with all these things, and by the time you finish, you're not as happy or as fulfilled as you wanted to be when you started, right? So basically, I wanted to start with talking about that. Why starting a business in the first place? I've seen a lot of people thinking that if I start this business, I'm going to be rich. This is a great idea. It's going to be super successful. 6 months from now, profitable, and it usually does not happen that way. Somebody might say, well, I lost my job, so I'm going to start a business. The thing is, the skills that you need to have a job and the skills that you need to have to run a business is entirely different. If you love making cakes and you decide to open a commercial bakery, You have all these other things that you need to do. Managing HR, managing inventory, and then you may want to cry and say, well, I just really wanted to be case, right? So, which is the last point about doing a particular thing. You love doing a particular thing, so you started this business. So what I want to say is that although you may decide you love something, there is absolutely nothing wrong with doing it the way you want to do it. Most times for most people, the business is an expression of themselves, and you have to really do it in a way that it serves you as well. So if it is, you decided I'm going to take the step, some of the things that you look for, long hours with little or no pay. I went 3 years in my business before, or 3.5 years really before I paid myself, right? Like I have a degree, and I taught so many lessons so that I had more time to work on my business. It was a lot of sacrifice. You will have to do things that you don't like, right? You may not like accounting, but it has to be done, right? You may not like HR, but it has to be done. The lack of stability is something that you are going to face. When you're putting your all, not just your time, the emotional ups and downs into your business, will this work, won't it work? And you have to know that the sacrifice comes before the success, right? You're putting in the hours because you're expecting a particular result, and I don't sacrifice for the sake of sacrificing. Understand when it's not working and make a change. I see, don't be like, well, I'm really passionate about X, so I'm going to keep doing X because it works, even though everybody else wants Y, right? And what's in it for you? What I did, I went through the process I'm actually in the process of hiring people, and one of the questions that I asked was, how can I reward you other than money, right? So doing a business specifically for the money may not always, well actually I don't think will ever really be fulfilling. There is a bigger why. So what is it in it for you? Is it that you want to help the elderly people, and that is your bigger why? Is it that you want to change the world in a particular way? What is in it for you? How does this business serve you? In addition to the money, how does it serve you? How does it serve what you want to do in the world? And really looking at your core values. So everybody has core values, right? You know it when it's a thing that when other people violate your core values, it irritates you to your core. So if you're somebody that is a high integrity person, you will never be able to stand alive, right? If it goes against the way you carry about your life. So for those that are looking at starting a business, I would say one of the key things you can do is look at your core values for yourself, and then look at the core values for your business and make sure that those are in line. Because if they're not in line, you will always have conflict. You'll always have an internal conflict. If you're somebody that's an environmentally conscious person and you're selling food out of a styrofoam box, at some point it's going to irritate you to your core, and that's going to stop your growth. And you can look at that throughout your business. Even if you're throughout your business when you're hiring employees, ensure that your employees' core values are in line with yours. Even if you decide you want to stay at your job, if the core values of your job isn't in line with your personal core values, you're still going to have conflict. So this is one of the tidbits that you can take with you through life, I think. So the three P's that I look at when doing my business: passion, profit, and purpose, right? So passion, I love doing this thing, this is great. When things suck, passion will wear off, I guarantee. So, and then of course, if your business cannot survive, if it's not making a profit, it can't survive. The purpose part of it, I think, is one of the strongest keys, because if you believe that your purpose in life is to do this thing, then it's impossible for you to quit. And then you keep going. And you have to figure out how to light the passion back, and how do I work out my model for the business so that it can be profitable. Because the truth is, I believe everything can be profitable. It's the how, right? So really looking at your business and how to get those three in line. So I started Tropical Hives as a honey production and distribution company. And my mission was to supply Trinidad and Tobago with high quality honey and that kind of stuff. But, well, essentially what happened is as the business grew, it forced me to look at what my purpose was, right? And my purpose has grown and shifted. And you'll find that as your business grows, it may grow and it may shift to improve the way we consume everything, right? So a simple thing as now looking at, okay, we're only doing glass bottles instead of plastic. We have a returns process now for the bottles. We have to eliminate the plastic bags because it's shifted from just bees and beekeeping. And how do I make my business in line so that the way we consume is better every day? So that's basically my presentation, and thank you all for listening. Open to questions.
Hi, Peter. Questions?
So I did the course of Ministry of Food Production, the course. And when you started, how hard or how easy or how the temperature was when you started initially? Did you start off doing beekeeping or you just connected beekeepers with the supplier or the customer?
The process for starting the business was really exploratory. So with the comments earlier about resources, I didn't really have a lot of resources. I share resources with a lot of people. So it's basically leveraging what people need. So you may have people that are beekeepers that have more honey than they could sell. And you have a demand for that product, right? So you network that way. I had a beekeeper that had an apiary already, but didn't have transport. So I had transport, but I needed bees and a place to put them. So I networked that way. So I keep, for me, business has always been a very collaborative process. So I keep trying to find ways where I have something that can add value, and then somebody else has something that can add value as well. Yeah?
How did you get your first beekeeping? Tell us that story.
Oh, I got my first beekeeping suit. So I got my first beekeeping suit. Literally what I did is I had somebody that wanted bees moved. And I charged for the job and got somebody else to move them. And then took my commission and bought my suit. Right? So it's a lot of it, like I said, it's the how, not necessarily, you have to figure out how you're going to go about doing the thing. Right? That's what makes one business different from another. There are lots of people selling honey. Some might be selling it outside the road, some might sell it at a grocery. I sell my stuff online. So even if you're in the same field, the same product, it's still different with the execution. And the art is really in the execution of entrepreneurship.
I have a kind of strange question. How did you become interested in beekeeping? It seems like a more male from you to kind
Well, it is more male dominated. I think the CSO says it's 85%. The other beekeepers think it's not a problem, but I think it is. They had somebody doing it at my mom's office, and he said I should do the course. So I borrowed his suit and I went and I did the course. And then I went somewhere else. I think I went to UTT, and I did their course for starting for businesses. And I was like, well, I have an app, and I have this beekeeping thing. And they said, well, go with the beekeeping thing. And I got a loan and used that to pay for like my first set of equipment and boxes, frames, that kind of stuff.
So yeah, you only get
Yeah, well, yeah, I had my own.
Because I gave it's two
two boxes or more. So to be clear, yes, in a sense, but I share locations with other people. So it's not like I own a ton of land somewhere or family that gave me this really huge start. I kind of just work with what I have until I can do better. It's one of those things where if you're for those of you that are spiritual, it's like if you can't handle the blessings that you have now, why should God give you more? Right? So do the absolute best you can in what you have, and then more will come. We have free delivery every Friday. Everyone's a bonus in South up to San Fernando, and we're on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, you can send a message to the page. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikita, Jamila, and Ali, for your presentation. I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. I know I did. And I mean, going forward, we've heard a lot about entrepreneurship, and I mean, it would not hurt to try. And as some of the speakers indicated, I mean, maybe some would try to this week, and try and say, maybe not do it, but you should probably think back of those who are not Trinidadians and who have come here and live. So why can't you? And it's always sometimes it's a struggle, sometimes it will be smooth sailing, but most times not in the beginning. But you have to keep at it. So we could go back and think of those who came here, settled, would be passed around selling the rolls of cloth and was bringing up today. Right? And let that be a lesson to you, because they did not give up. So, I mean, why should you? Why should you? Okay? Any last minute questions anyone wish to ask? Simon, any questions you wish to ask? No? Okay, we have Sasha Sahare who will continue with the plans, and then we can end it. Right? We'll remember one following speakers in case we're going to ask questions.
So we can get a picture of all the females in the room after as well.
Yes, and Shan talk about Sasha.
Hello again, everyone. Whenever there's an event or activity that focuses on women, we tend to get the odd sentiment arising. Well, why do we need this? It's a level playing field. It's very easy to forget that historically it hasn't always been the same. Just recently I was reading an article that showed you basically men still own the majority of startups. And in North America and Europe, statistically, the average entrepreneur, they were asking what does your average entrepreneur look like? And it's white, male, in his 20s, and comes from a wealthy background. But of course, that has been changing, and diversity is only increasing, because in the last 2 to 3 decades, we see the gap between male and female businesses closing. We see this trend even reflected in the streams of entrepreneurs that are either joining New Start or interested in joining New Start. Our presenters today are a proud testimony to that, and on that note, we sincerely want to thank Julia, Nikita, and Marlene for so openly sharing with us today their experiences and insights. We also want to especially thank representatives here today from NECO and Peru, institutions that continue to work with UTT to develop a national entrepreneurial ecosystem. There are increasingly a number of resources and facilities that are tailored especially for women entrepreneurs, from training to mentorship matching services to international grant funding. It is our hope that as we move into the new year, we can continue to work with stakeholders, institutions like Peru and NECO and WITEC, who are organizers of the GEW event as well, to create a greater awareness of some of those resources that are available to women. We'd also like to see locally the offering of services and support that take into root celebrate, have a chat with one another, have some tea, and get moving.